Hi, it's me, Josephine, and today I'm talking about 11 things I love about Waldorf Education. I made already a video, what you will find over there in the corner, about the 8 things I hate about Waldorf Education. And now it is really time to make the video about things I love about Waldorf Education. And they are obviously way more. But now 11 for you here in this video. The first I really need to say is fairy tales. For some people, that might be something what is more pushing them away from Waldorf education, but for me, that is just something wonderful. I love fairy tales. Fairy tales give me a lot, and I really hope they also give my child a lot, because there's so much you can learn about fairy tales. There's so much fairy tales can teach you, and how there's just a lot. I really love fairy tales. The second one I really love about Waldorf education is the use of natural materials. In Waldorf education, natural materials just something so common and so normal. You try to have everything as much natural as possible. And who doesn't love that? Isn't this beautiful to have no toxic things and toys around your child and to have a very healthy child? Who doesn't want that? I mean, come on. I love it. I'm putting my child all into wool and cotton and other natural materials, and she's playing with her wooden toys and her silks, and I love it. I just really love it. And yeah, I mean, this is awesome, right? Okay, and the next one is in the world of education, the children are a lot outdoors. I love that. Oxygen is so important for our brains. We really need that to be able to think, to breathe, to do everything. Our body needs oxygen, and the children need to explore the nature and to be outside, to be able to run, to climb, to find things in the nature and to touch them, to get dirty. All of those things. It is so important to see the different seasons, because we are not living, or we're not supposed to live just in walls. It makes us sick. It is important for our health to be outside, to be part of this world, and not to separate us from this world. It is so important. And that's why I really love that. I also really love that in Waldorf education, until the age of 6 or 7, depending on when your child is born, the kids are just playing. There's no education like in other schools where you have already in kindergarten stuff where you learn. In Waldorf education, you are really, oh, I meant with kindergarten, I should maybe explain that. I meant the time before you're 6 or 7. I'm still confused about the difference of when it starts in the US and in Germany. And for me, kindergarten is from the age 3 to 6 or 7. So just so you understand what I just meant. Okay, back to the theme. So this time that you are just playing, it's play based. That is awesome. I believe that is really awesome, because there is so much to explore for the kids. And then to force them to learn this and that and this, I think it is overwhelming. And I think kids need just to be kids. They need to be free and able to make themselves a base in this world and to land here completely and to build their basement. Yeah, like their base, and not directly having all of those things. I think it's very important to be creative, and I just don't think that it's so good to have the kids learn all of those things when they are not in this age. Of course, if the kid is asking to learn it and really interested, I would never say, hey, you cannot learn that. You're not even 6 or 7. That would be, yeah, kind of awkward. No, I would definitely teach the child then. But I think that a child should not be forced to that. That is what I mean. A child should be free, and I will say the rest in my next Next things. So, okay, the next one is that the teachers, they really know the kids. They spend so much time with the kids and they really get to know them. It is not like in other schools where the teachers don't really know the kids and they don't know why the kid is acting like this and they just don't understand. And this understandment is missing and it's so important. And because the teachers really know the kid, they know the history of the kid. It's like being a family. This is such a huge help, and the kids also can learn to trust because this is also very important. If you want to learn and take something from somebody else, you have to trust that this person actually knows, and you have to you have to build that. You have to build this connection, and if it is ripped apart directly again, it's also not really. Yeah, I really like that the teachers stay there for a while and that they really get to know the kids and that there is this connection. I really love that. It is really awesome to me. And of course, the parents, they also are a big, big part in Waldorf education. This might be scary for some people. For me, it is awesome. I love it. But I know a person who had a child in a Waldorf kindergarten, in a German Waldorf kindergarten, and she was complaining about that she has to do so much. I remember I went there too to help, and we have built that kindergarten together. And then she had to sew a lot, and she had to help here and help there, and it was really hard for her. But for me, this is just this is just my thing. For me, that is so much easier. I really love it. I love being part of that as a mother. I love helping in the school. I love being always present. And of course, you also have to go on school trips and help out and things like this. For some people, this is really not what they want. They just want when the kid is in school to have their time and then the kid comes back and then everything is like it's usually in the most schools. But I personally really like being a part of that, being integrated and having a say. And I know in the US, this is more common that parents are able to do that. But in Germany, where I'm from, this is not common. Usually, parents go like once every few months to this meeting where they talk about all the kids behaving nice and some little things, but that's kind of it. And they only go there because they have to. And it's not like in the US where parents help out a lot is normal. So this is very special and that is something I really, really love. And like I already said, for some people it can be overwhelming how much you have to do then. It's not just you're allowed to, it's you have to because it's a lot about parents sitting together and creating that school. Okay, another thing what I really, really love is simplicity. I love the simplicity of Waldorf, the Waldorf education. I love how simple the dolls are. I love how simple the toys are. I love how open ended everything is and how much space there is for more creation and creativity and for being yourself and not forced into a specific thing. There is just so much space to be more. And who doesn't want to be more? Isn't this something beautiful? I love it. And my next point is that the kids are raised with a lot of love and protection. Let me explain how I mean that. With protection, it already starts when the kids are very little. Every child, as soon as the child leaves and goes outside, is wearing a hat. And this hat is part of being protected. The hat, you put the scarf on and the jacket and the gloves, depending on the weather, of course. But the hat, also in summer, you wear a hat. And it is supposed to give the child the feeling of being loved and protected. And that is just something very, very beautiful to me. And then how you are acting with the kids, how you're very soft and gentle and you sing a lot and you make all these finger games. That is so much love. you really listen to the child and be there and sing those songs, like in a different video where I was singing about the snail band, how to roll it, and how you make so much by yourself, and everything is, it's just a lot of love in Waldorf education. And who doesn't want that the kids are loved and protected? Isn't this something beautiful? I think it's so wonderful. And now the next point is, in Waldorf education, the kids get taught a lot of skills. Skills that are actually useful in their life after school. This is so great because when I think back to the time when I went to school, I was not in a Waldorf school by myself. I was in a Waldorf kindergarten, but not in a Waldorf school, and it was also only inspired. Anyway, so I was forced to learn in a regular, horrible way, and I did not really learn a lot of very, very helpful things for the rest of my life. I mean, everybody picks some things out, and of course, they are helpful for that person. But when I look at Waldorf education and I see all the things you learn there, that is really awesome. I mean, also, there are things some people probably do not need later anymore. But isn't this great? You can do so much after that yourself. You know how to plant your food, how to grow the food. You know what is the food, how does it look, how does it happen. I mean, I know a child who asked me, are apples produced? Are bananas produced? Who makes them? And that is something that breaks my heart because I believe that a child should know that the plants are growing and how they grow and how all of this happens. And I think it is really, really something wonderful and important to learn all of those important skills. Like you learn to crochet, you learn how to knit, you learn how to do woodwork, you learn how to cook, you even learn how to clean and how to fold. I remember my little sister went to Waldorf kindergarten in Germany, and she had this cute song of how she was folding all the blankets, and she always wanted to help cleaning because she was in Waldorf kindergarten. And other kids usually think like, oh God, I don't want to clean. But when you're surrounded by Waldorf education, and you like those things because you have songs for it, and it's cute, it's fun, and everything spells joy. And there's really so much more you learn, really so much more. And this is just really, really good and helpful. But of course, the most people who come out of the Waldorf education are very creative and artsy because there's just a lot of pushing in the creative direction by letting you actually be creative. It's not really pushing, it's more like opening the doors for you. Okay. And another very, very big point is how the kids learn. They do not get pushed and forced and have to study and sit there, and it's so hard and it doesn't make fun and nobody wants to go to school anymore. No, the kids learn a lot as much as possible by experiencing it. For some people, of course, this can be a little yeah, a no-go because it can happen that the teacher decides a few older kids to let them go during school into the city and do some research by asking people questions and talking to people and making experiences. But this is all to learn. It is not to bring kids in danger. But of course, some parents don't want that, and they want when the kids are in school that they stay in school and they don't go anywhere else. Because of course they want to know where are my kids during that time. I really think you should figure this out with the school you would like to send your kids, and if they would let the kids go out, where would they go out before you go totally crazy about that. And then you can still make your decision and figure out, am I okay with that? Or is this something I just cannot do? I think it is really, really great to learn by experience. But of course, for us parents, it can be scary because everything is scary. I mean, this world is just scary. But we brought the kids here in this world, so that's why I try to step back as much as I can, even though it's very hard, of course. I bet every parent understands what I was just explaining and trying to say. And now, the very last point in Waldorf Education, the child is a whole human. It is not just this child over there that has this and it's not good. No, it's the whole human. The body, the soul, everything is connected in us. Everything. And in Waldorf Education, this is seen. And the child is seen as a whole person. So when a situation happens, they can connect it to something. They know the kid. They understand. They see the whole thing. The whole thing what is surrounding the kid. Like, oh, you've got a bad time. Your parents just got divorced. Like, as an example now. And they understand, and they will not say, now you have to do that because the other kids, they have to do it. And I told them everybody has to. They will say, I understand. Why don't you do something good a little bit for you and relax a little, and you can do this later and make sure you feel good. Things like this. These are those little things, but they are so important because that in this situation, what I have used as example, the kid has nothing to do with the parents getting divorced, but of course the kid is suffering. That is just how it is, even though of course no parent would ever want that, but that's just what happens. And things like this, you don't really find them like that in other schools. And in Waldorf Education, you find that because the kid is the whole human. And you also learn about that with those classes where you were dancing. And of course, Waldorf kids, they can dance their name, and Germans make fun about that every time. When somebody in Germany says, hey, I was in Waldorf school, everybody says laughing, oh, cool, you can dance your name, right? Can you please dance your name for us? And yes, Waldorf kids, they can dance their name. They can dance even more. Things like this. It's just, yeah, something I really, really love. We are not just numbers. We are humans, and we are also different. And it's so important to see that. Okay, please give this video a thumbs up if you like that video, because it is supporting my channel so much. And I would also be very happy if you subscribe to my channel and hit this notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos and you will see more of this content. And then I see you in my next video. Have a beautiful time. Take care. Goodbye.